Decoy voice
when you
video.
have
I'm pretty
anti-ICE
excited.
protesters from deep blue Cincinnati wander across a bridge into deep red Kentucky. We finally get to see the FAFO scale in action, as these activists block the Roebling Bridge between Ohio and Kentucky. And while Cincinnati PD is gently arresting these people protesting, Kentucky's Covington police immediately laid down the law. Now, one copper started landing haymakers on a protester in a Cincinnati Reds cap, while this lady attacked the cops with her tactical slipper as the K-9 cops were finally deployed. Now, what's interesting is how Kentucky's media reported on the arrests versus how the liberal media highlights the Kentucky cops that beat protesters, simply demonstrating against the ICE arrest of a hospital chaplain.
Dude, I'm
with
so
Cincinnati's
sick of
local
these
outlets
people
sensationalizing it.
twisting things.
It's our country! Why are we being beat up because we're doing a peaceful march?
The story I'm getting is they were peacefully assembling, having a protest, and then somebody came down here in a car and antagonized them. And there was a confrontation between that driver and the protesters.
He said, I'm American, and he just threw me down on the ground. I am 70 years old. This is my country.
This is possibly the greatest illustration of culture clash, as plenty of liberal places would simply allow activists to block a bridge, but Kentucky is showing them this renaissance of justice,
the case.
as they're simply bewildered at the idea that they will be forcefully arrested when taking over our infrastructure. As Cincinnati's local outlet covers a story, reporting how 13 were arrested by Kentucky's police for rioting, amongst other things, but framing it with a car antagonized the peaceful protesters. Imagine you're just trying to get to work, and the unemployed hordes with nothing to do on a weekday afternoon start pounding on your vehicle while waving some other country's flag that has absolutely nothing to do with what they're protesting. As these activists are allegedly angry over
They had a Palestinian flag, but they were protesting illegal immigration and ICE? The ultimate brownie point move. They're evolving. Guys, they're evolving. It's a whole new level now. This is a whole new level.
Cincinnati children's chaplain being arrested after he recently lost his asylum status in America, as back in 2022, he filed a lawsuit over the feds flagging him after applying for a job in an Oregon prison. But now facing deportation, they claim his life is in danger if sent back to Egypt, which they're already accommodating for this by sending people to third-party countries. As one, I really wonder if he was given the option of the South Sudan or El Salvador, would he suddenly change his mind and prefer to go home? And two, they keep framing him as this children's chaplain wrongfully losing his asylum status, but you really have to search to find out why he lost it, as even NPR's network reports on his case, stating it's over his time on the board of an Egyptian community organization that has ties with an organization that their own government classifies as a terror group, to which he openly admitted his affiliation with on his application. But now the response is that group has been ubiquitous in many aspects of the country's civic life. As honestly, I have no idea how that clears his name, other than possibly the most important aspect of this case is being conveniently omitted in most of the reporting. As why do all the headlines say children's chaplain, but nothing about the possible ties to terror attempting to get a position inside our prison system? Now, I understand their argument. They're framing this as a very loose connection to that organization. And for all we know, this could be true, but it honestly feels like the activist issue isn't with US policy regarding terror, but Egypt's classification of that organization. So why aren't they protesting bridges in Egypt? Or is this yet another example of activists marching on behalf of something they know little to nothing about? But at least Kentucky isn't playing around, as some of the felonies were dropped, but mainly due to guilty pleas on the misdemeanor charges, with 4 still facing felony riot convictions. As their defense attorney is arguing at one point this was a peaceful assembly, but the Kentucky judge just got frustrated, stating this was a riot, as 5+ people gathered with violent behavior, attacking the police. The simple fact that this case hasn't been thrown out makes me believe they're about to find out. It really looks like Kentucky's justice system is trying to set the precedence of Just because you're angry over something beyond your understanding doesn't mean you get to throw a temper tantrum blocking our public streets, as it sounds like a slippery slope. But there's a reason why in Florida, activists politely protest alligator Alcatraz from the safety of the side of the road. When liberal Los Angeles, California loses access to their freeways whenever the Democrats don't get their way. I've covered this third world phenomenon for years now, as sadly the only time the city sees law and order is when Trump deploys the Marines, or when there was mass looting during the lockdowns and the National Guard had to be installed before it stopped. But let me know if you think Kentucky will actually lock up these so-called activists.
I absolutely
as some
do. I
people
don't
think a
think
felony
Kentucky will
conviction
mess with
is too harsh, but I think it isn't enough. I think if you ever get arrested for activism, you should lose all access to public benefits, as a US taxpayer shouldn't be subsidizing this unemployed behavior. And if you got time to block a bridge on a Wednesday afternoon, you got time to get a regular job. Possibly on a farm. I heard a lot of them are hiring.
I think that was a great video. Check out Decoy Voice. Absolutely. They have if someone is protesting on a bridge, arrest them. Arrest them. If they are attacking a police officer, arrest them. It's as easy and as simple as following those two rules. If they are attacking someone, they're holding up a bridge, arrest them. Don't give them any quarrel. Don't give them any notice. They're doing something illegal. That's the be-all, end-all of the situation. What more do you need? Do you need more information?